hello. How we doing? It's not the greatest of days. The international break strikes again. Martin Odegaard first for Norway. Bukayo Saka now for England. Martin Odegaard injury setback. It's time to discuss. Bin these internationals. It is a disgrace. It was an absolute joke. No one cares about the Nations League. I've said it on my channel. I've said it on Curtis's channel today, and I'm saying it now on here. And I'm back at 6 p.m. live about it as well. Trust me, this is a shambles. But we must talk about it. England versus Greece last night was nothing short of an embarrassment. We're going to be talking about that injury to Saka and what we might mean to us with some of the biggest fixtures coming up for our season. Odegaard with a setback as well. It's all here, people. Before we get into it, make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Make sure your notification bell is on. And make sure you're following me as well on Football's 12th Man. Because I'll be live at 6 p.m. Lee, where do you want to start, bro?
Well, a couple of things I want to start with. First of all, we're a little bit late, but we've been discussing what we're going to do when we come up with a little concept for next week's show. Like, we want you all to get involved in this as well. Like, we are picking not our best 11s, not the combined 11s. It's our favourite 11. So not necessarily our best players, but ones that we're your favourite. And then we're going to put that team up against each other and see which team is the best. Okay, so and we want you guys in the chat to join in and pick your favourite 11, not your best, your favourites. Okay,
love that. Love that.
We're going to do that. So that's why we're running a bit late. So apologies for that. International break. Well, first of all, I've got a little bit of inside info. Like I had a little bit of inside info that Martin Odegaard is not behind schedule. He's only just had the boot taken off this week, like, you know what I mean? So as far as I know, he's still not going to be back until after the next international break at the earliest. That would go into mid-November. So there's not really much difference. It's been mid-November to beginning of December, then. So he's still way off playing. I think people are expecting him to come back on next, Bournemouth or Liverpool or something like that. Not going to happen, So I think it'll be a still about another 4 or 5 weeks minimum. So I don't think there's any worries on that front. But the Saka one, well, I was at a show yesterday at Jeff Stelling, and I heard, and I'm going to be really honest, I heard halfway through the interval that it had happened, and it ruined the night for me. The second half of the show, because I'd fucking cursing every 5 minutes, and then to come out and see England had lost anyway. And do you know what? I couldn't give two monkeys about that. I was just so annoyed that he's got injured. It looks like a slight hamstring injury. I've seen reports that it's a tweak and whatever. If it is, he's not playing against Bournemouth and Shakhtar and probably going to miss Liverpool as well, and that is a massive, massive blow to us, on top of losing Odegaard. So our two best players, in theory, now are out for at least the next 2, 3, 4 games, Dan. And that is a big, big blow. And I tell you what makes it even worse. I don't know how you feel about this. It's bad enough it's on our watch, but when it's not on our watch, it makes it even worse that it's on international duty. And as you just quite rightly just said, nothing games. It's just so frustrating, so frustrating. And it just seems that, we're going to have one every time. We've got November to come yet, and there'll be another one going out of that, And Arteta's tried to do very, very well, keeping the likes of Havertz and Tomiyasu out of it, and obviously Thomas Partey. But you can't stop them all going, I suppose, you know what I mean? And I've got to say, the next insult that I'm going to say is that Declan Rice weren't even captained in the last couple of games. You remember those meaningless friendlies he captained, and, right when we're going for the title in March, and then the new manager comes along, and he brings in John Stones as captain. Nothing against John Stones, but come on. I don't know. Wayne Yerry might step up. That, I think that'd be interesting. I think Wayne Yerry's got to step up. Jesus has got to step up, or Sterling. One of them's got to step up now. 100%.
Yeah, facts. Let's start with Saka. and England. Last night, that was nothing short of shambolic, my bro. I watched the game. This reminded me of when we rolled back the years and we tried to put Lampard, Gerrard,
Mm.
and goals and force them all in. It didn't work back then. Funny enough, it didn't work last night. I was seeing Cole Palmer playing central midfield last night alongside Declan Rice. I'm seeing Bellingham play as a striker. Saka, who got injured, by the way. Gordon on the left and Foden, Mr. Invisible, yet again for England. Brilliant for City. Puts an England shirt on, don't see him. It's like putting an invisible shirt on. I just do not see the guy. Don't understand it. Makes no sense. But last night, Carsley just completely got everything wrong. And my goodness, I've been told this Chelsea centre half is brilliant. And the next John Terry, this Levi Colwell, he was absolutely horrendous, mate. Him and John Stones together were a shambles. Trent defensively was as poor as he normally is when he's trying to defend. But going forward, I do like him. We had obviously at left back Rico Lewis, who I think is more of a fault of a right back from what I can see. But, you know, it was just all over the place. And Pickford, ha! Wow. Jordan Pickford, who I am told is levels above Ramsdale, is certainly not. Mr. Flapper. That's what I like to call him. Shambles, passed it straight to him in the first few minutes of the game. Passed it to them again, kicked it out to them again. They scored 4 goals last night, 5 goals last night at League Greece. 5 goals. 3 of them were offside for VAR. 5 goals we conceded against Greece, and this is one of the best England sides apparently we've seen in a long time. The attacking midfielders are there, but I don't know that the defence and the up top is, mate, because without Harry Kane, who, by the way, was shocking in the Euros because he weren't fit, he's playing Bellingham up there. So what does that mean? If you're Ollie Watkins right now, you're getting told that Harry Kane is now injured, you're thinking, get in there. And they're playing Ollie Bellingham ahead of you, who's not a striker. This manager clearly ain't up to it. And if I'm honest, that is him saying, I can't do this job. So you better bring someone in. Why can't we, and we'll get on to Saka in a minute, why can't we, as an England fan, want the best manager out there? Because the last 5 managers we've had have been Steve McLaren, Roy Hodgson, Sam Allardyce, Gareth Southgate, and Lee Carsley. What the hell is going on here? And we're supposed to be going for top quality play. We should be going now. I'd go and give it to Jose Mourinho. I'd go and give it to any of the Simeones, Ancelottis, any of those managers there. If you don't want that, Thomas Tuchel's, etc., that are available, Allegri, who's available, go and give it to Graham Potter or Eddie Howe, because this guy don't know what he's doing. And he's managed under 21s, and he's got an unbelievable style of play and all this. First couple of friendlies, I thought, at least we're not playing Southgate ball. It's still not looking great, though. This guy can't take us to a tournament. Playing people like that. And then he comes out and says, I didn't really want the England job anyway. It just kind of fell in my lap. And I was experimenting with everyone. I wanted to see if we could play that way with everyone in the team together. This is schoolboy errors, mate. This is like trying to put all of our play. This is like lining up with Arsenal, right? Playing Jesus, Havertz, Sterling, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Wanyeri, all in the same team. You can't do that. You've got to let go. And I'll say this lastly, by the way. Foden needs to be on the bench now because he's got to rest one of them. He can't play all of them in the same team. Saka's our right winger. Foden or Palmer in the 10. Gordon has to be on the left and Kane up top. And then in the middle, you have Rice and Bellingham. Foden has to sit this one out now. Or Palmer has to sit it out because you cannot play them all. It's just got, they're trying to do the Gerrard and Lampard thing, Lee, where you can't play together. Play one of them. Skulls on the left, McLaren did once. I mean, what is happening here? This is what we're going back to. They have got no clue what they're doing. And I thought last night was so evident to how bad we were looking. And all the Southgate lovers are saying, see, told you, grass ain't always greener. But let's be real. We've given it to Lee Carsley. That's the problem. It's not.
Nothing to do with that.
It's nothing to do with that. So that's where I'm at with the England thing, man. Before we go on to Saka, just your thoughts of England and the management and the team before we get to Saka?
Well, that's him gone because this is a manager that that didn't have Grealish and Kane available. No, what if they'd have been playing right back and left back? You know what I mean? It would have been ridiculous, because if you look back on the last couple of games, Grealish done very, very well in the last couple of games. Don't forget Foden and Cole Palmer. I think they weren't there, were they? They weren't in the squad. So Watkins must be sitting there. I'd have walked. Do you know what I'd have done if Ben White and walked out? I'd have walked out. I said, nah, not for me. I'm sorry. I'm wasting I could be on holiday having a few days off with my family and all that. The centre forward goes down, right? You bring in Solanke, and then in the end you play a midfield player in there. Like, just what are you doing? All you're doing is catering. You know what I mean? That's all you're doing. Yeah, I agree with you on Foden. Look, fantastic player. Never done it for England. John Barnes was a bit like that as well. Like, fantastic for club. Couldn't replicate it for his country. Not his fault, probably the way it is. I'd give Palmer a chance in there. I think that Foden's had more than enough chances there. The thing is now that Saka will be out for the game, so that they can fit in maybe a Grealish to come in or what, I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you on that. There, you can't do that. You can't. For me, like, midfield is easy to bring in there. It's your two players there, Rice and Bellingham, and you just stick with that. Box to box, Bellingham, Rice just holds. That's simple enough. But putting in like Palmer in there, not really like the answer. But he's got too many great players. But at the end of the day, like everybody was saying, a little bit of criticism for Southgate. Oh, you got to play Palmer and all that. Palmer didn't start. Well, who would he have played in place of in that Euros? Probably like one of the players you would say was Foden, because Foden seemed to play every game. But other than that, what you changing up front? You got like exciting players. You know what I mean? Gordon's done very, very well for England. My front three, by the way, would be Saka, Kane, and Grealish. That would be my three. Like, behind that would be Cole Palmer, like, Bellingham and Rice. And then you've got a bit, that would be mine. But Gordon's done very, very well. Put a little bit of pressure on him, like, so we'll have to wait and see. But completely out of his depth. Showed it yesterday. Listen, you can't be getting smashed by Greece. It should have been more, as you said. Like, I haven't seen the game, but it should have been more. But I look at did people pay for that yesterday, or was they giving away tickets? Do people actually pay to watch those games? I actually got invited to the game yesterday, right? But I was obviously going to this Jeff Stelling thing, right? But even if I weren't going to that, I wouldn't have gone to that game yesterday. They've had to pay me to go to it, not like, you know what I mean? Like, it was free and everything like that. But I just would. I've got no interest. The last time I went to, I know it's bad when I say this. I'll tell you who it was. Ben White played. I know that. We played Ivory Coast. Don't ask me to score. Didn't watch 1 minute of the game. Just sat in the box eating and drinking. Not interested. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see what I see people getting excited about it. I get it. That that it's not all about club football. There's some people that don't follow that clubs religiously like we do, and like England and all that. Like, but England versus Greece on a October night. No, thank you.
Facts. Look, the Saka injury, 50-odd minutes, he goes down, and I'm going, oh, please get up, mate. Please get up. And then it don't look good, and he's hobbling, he's going straight off. There's two things here. He's either out for a long time, or he just felt sank, and he's gone off for precautionary. I hope it is that, mate. I really do.
A kick or what? I don't even know.
I still don't even know. He went down with a goal, actually. It was actually during the goal. He was down on the floor. They said, oh, Saka's still down, injured here. And I thought, what happened here then? Did he go down? Maybe somebody that can chat can know, because I don't remember seeing him getting absolutely hacked out. I think he just pulled up. He was on the floor and he went down. Look, it's a twinge, it's a twist, it's a strain, it's a tear. We don't know yet. Unfortunately, the update from Lee Carsley is that we're assessing him at the moment. He definitely won't play in the next game, that's for sure. If he does recover from this, and it is just a slight sort of tightness or twinge, and he's just gone, oh, let's get off, I really respect him for that. Arteta's clearly had a word with him. But if he is torn it, mate, he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, isn't he? That's the problem we've got here. And how do we deal with that? And look, before we go into what we might do if he does miss some of the games, I've seen Saka play so much football, Lee. It's unbelievable. And I dreaded this day would come. And maybe it hasn't. Maybe he's okay. Maybe he'll be all right. But whatever, we need to look after him, mate. And England need to start looking after him. Because I'm looking at these players now, right? Nations League. He could have had Noni Madueke. He could have had Eze. He could have had Bowen. All those players would have absolutely loved to have started last night. Why is he playing Saka? Arteta, Carabao Cup, Bolton. Who plays on the right? Saka. Why? Why does he have to play against Bolton? You know, I mean, we haven't particularly looked after him as well, Lee. I've got to say, this ain't just England. I don't think Arteta has also rested him either at times. So we got to start now, haven't we? We got to start resting him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, you know what I mean? It's difficult because if you, even against Southampton, I don't know, he was 2 assists and a goal. You know what I mean? Do we win that game without Saka? I don't know that, Dan. I can't answer that question. Can we win against Bournemouth without him? Well, we're going to have to find out. And we're going to have to find out against Shakhtar, and we're going to have to find out against Liverpool. Because whatever happens now, he's out for 2 games. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't see him playing against Bournemouth. Can't see him playing against Shakhtar on the Tuesday. And it'd probably be touch and go if he's gone. If he's got a little tweak and all that, then it's his body telling him, like, you know, come on, you know what I mean? You're playing too much. And I do agree with you. I think that and people have slagged me off and had a go at me, Dan, when I kept going, what are you on about rotation all the time and everything like that? And the reason is because of things like this. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to go and think about, it's not just the next game, it's the next 30 games. You know what I mean? And you want him fresh. I'll be honest with it. If he'd have played in these 2 England games, I'm leaving him out of Bournemouth. I'm leaving him out against Shakhtar, and then you play against Liverpool, because you've got to have these players come on. And if they're not good enough, then that's down to Arteta and Edu that you haven't sorted it out properly. But now, you know, for me, Jesus, or I would play Jesus on the right, you know, and he has got to step up. It's as simple as that, like for 2 or 3 games or whatever it is. Now, look, he has done it before, Jesus. People forget about that. He has played when Saka, I think, missed City at home, if I remember, like last season. Didn't play in that game neither, did he? So there are times he's got to do it. But I don't think it's going to be like 5-6 weeker. I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 games, but that's still 2 or 3 games that we don't need. And yeah, listen, he ain't worried about it. Carsley, is he, like, you know what I mean? Declan Rice, another 90 minutes under his belt, like, and they'll have another 90 minutes on Sunday in Finland, guaranteed. And then, you know what I mean, like, and yeah, I'll tell you what, you flog it, like, you flog the living daylights out of him, and then you don't even give him the armband when the other manager did the last couple of games. You know what I mean? I think that's a kick in the balls for me. Kick in the balls, right full frontal. I haven't even got my pants on. That's what you've done. That you've took me fucking pants off and done it, like, you know what I mean, Carsley? Absolute joke. But that's where we are with it, like, you know. Listen, Arteta's now got to get him home straight away, and you know, I think that, you know, Declan Rice a little bit different. I think I even heard Declan saying that the more games he plays, the fitter he gets. So I don't know with him if that's the case. But Saka now, I think is you know, is going to have a rest, and I don't want him rushed back neither. Then, if I'll be really honest,
I was actually last night praying, right, that he was going to get sent off last night, Declan Rice, so that he could miss Sunday. I really was. He got a yellow card, and I thought, I'll go on and get another one, and so you're out Sunday as well. Because I'm sick of it. I don't give a damn about this Nations League, Lee. I couldn't give a toss about it. I care about Euros and World Cup. And why do we play friendlies? Why do we play Nations League? Why are we trying to create a third tournament that no one cares about? This is the equivalent. Like friendlies, I've spoken to Curtis about this, right? Oh, we've got Liverpool coming up. Where's our friendly before Liverpool? Don't need one, do we? Why do we need friendlies for England? I don't get it. Just have your international qualifiers and your tournament qualifiers and your tournament. Why do you need to go and experiment something in a friendly? Like that, for me, you do that on the training pitch, yeah? You do it on the training pitch, and then you get to Liechtenstein and you do experimenting then, and San Marino, and you do experimenting then. Why are we worried about, we got San Marino, better get a friendly in before we play them? No, that's not how it works, man. So look, I'm a big fan of the summer when we sat there, all of us, and we're all at one and we all go for England. I love it. But that's all. I don't go for this Nations League crap. I hate it. And I hate international breaks, big time. We've got through one at the moment. So look, that's Carsley, that's England, that's Saka. Wanting to ask you, because it might be that Saka's out for a while. You've said about players stepping up. Sterling, I think, is one of them that has to now. If it is got to a stage, we'll just assume that Saka's out for the next 3 Arsenal games, which is Bournemouth, Shakhtar, and Liverpool, right? Is it? Have I got that right?
Yeah.
So let's assume that that's what it is. What are you doing on that Saka position? What are you going to do in those 3 games? Does it Sterling plays there? Is it someone else plays there?
2 options that he's got. You put Martinelli over to the right and you bring in Sterling, or you keep Martinelli on the left and you play Jesus. That's his options that he's got. You could say Wanyeri as well is another option, but I'm going to go for Jesus on the right. And I know people are going to go, "Oh, Jesus is that." I'm backing him. He's had a lot of injuries, but somewhere along the line, you've got to turn up to the party, and this is his time. This is the time to shine, as the song goes. He is needing to do that now and needs to come in, Sterling can play on the right, as Henry says. I agree with that. But for me, I think that Jesus is like a £50 million player we paid for him, gets it for me. And I think that at the end of the day, maybe playing Jesus out wide will just take a bit of pressure off him. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe if you can do the business out there and do really, really well, may convince our Lord and our Saviour and everything in Mikel that he might rest Saka a little bit more than what he does.
I think he's got 2 options, and I think it's either Jesus wide or Sterling wide. I think they're the only 2 options he'll go with. Unfortunately, mate, I don't really like either. Look, Jesus, I've got to talk about Jesus. I've been particularly harsh on him, although I was on Curtis' stream earlier and everybody was agreeing. I think he's been a flop at Arsenal, mate. £50 million, same amount of money as Lacazette. Lacazette leaves him dead in the water, and Lacazette needed to go. Jesus has been injured most of his Arsenal time. He's got 15 goals. I mean, that is abysmal in 3 seasons, in my opinion. If you get 15 a season, you've had a half decent season, not a great one for a striker. He's had 15 across 3. That's not good enough, mate. That ain't good enough for me. He's got this season to prove he's good enough. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck, but good luck, mate. We need an upgrade. Raheem Sterling, let me talk about him first. I look at what he does on the ball, and I quite like it, actually. I like the fact he drives forward. I like the fact that he looks a threat. My problem is output with Sterling at the moment. There's not really much coming off from him. He's not really assisting much. He's not scoring much. Yes, he did against Bolton, but I kind of expect him to, without being too harsh on Bolton. I need to see this regularly now from him. So whatever one he goes with, Lee, has to make it work. And you would like to think that with Jesus and Raheem Sterling, they're both experienced and professional enough to know, do you know what? Weren't long ago we were winning trophies in Man City. Now look at us. We got to revive our careers here. Let's go and knock on that door and prove to Arteta that actually I'm starting. When Saka comes back, yeah, he might come in my position on the right, but I'm starting on the left because I'm that good. That's what I want to see from these two. I want to see fight. I want to see hunger. And unfortunately, mate, I don't see it from either of them at the moment. They just look a bit down. They look like their confidence hit. Sterling, not so much, because I feel he's still trying to get in the swing of it with Arsenal. But Jesus got no excuses, mate. I was told he was sharp, he was fit, he looks incredible. We're getting a different Jesus. We're going to get that 9 with all the work. I ain't seen it, bruv. I've seen poor play from him. So, look, I don't want to be harsh on the lad. For me, it's goodbye in the summer if he can't hold down a position. I don't think we'll keep Sterling. I think he'll go back to Chelsea and go somewhere else afterwards anyway. I think this is just a stopgap season and someone that we need to cover. But one of those two's got to step up in it. Do you have the confidence either of them can do it, though, bruv?
That's the question.
It's hard, isn't it?
Listen, I watched back Sterling's performance against Southampton. It was okay. It weren't great. Jesus poor. But there were a little couple of magic moments in his 2 games, Jesus, where he'd done a couple of magic things, but not enough. If I be really honest, you can't rely on a couple of magic moments every now and then. He looks like he's just lost a little bit of his pace for the injury. But I'm thinking to myself, right, well, hold on a minute. Can you get that back, that little bit of pace back, a bit of hard work in this international break. You know, and what I mean by that is hard work without the physical games bashing about. Like, you know, try and step up your sharpness, and then when you're there, step up. If I'd be really honest, as much as I want them to do well, probably Wanyeri is the better bet.
I agree.
But, you know, you're paying him a lot of money, Jesus, and a big wages, and I agree with you. You know, it is a shame that he will go down as a failure at Arsenal.
Do you think we could do this, Lee? Do you think we could put Trossard on the left, Wanyeri as the 10, and Martinelli on the right?
Can do that. That's another option. Good option. Yeah, why not? But I think somewhere along the line, you've got to, you know, if you've got a Jesus or you've got brought in Sterling, you know, we're saying it like on 1 minute for the England manager, we're saying like, you know, how does Ollie Watkins feel if you know you're doing that? And here we've got two wide players, and we're not going to play. And what does that tell you, like, you know? So,
well, do you know what it tells me? That perhaps we were right when we said we needed another winger and a striker in the window. And
yeah,
sure.
and that's what we're alluding to, and that's why these two players have now got to step up. And this is what good squad players do. Trossard stepped up, and you know what I mean? This is your time now. You know what I mean? Sterling, this is what you're here for. This is what Jesus or Sterling have been here, waiting their opportunity, a little bit frustrated, not getting games, but now an injury to one of the big players has happened. You have to step up. Trossard has stepped up. We haven't missed Odegaard. Fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, that is what one of these two has got to do now, and whoever it is. And they better. For the sake of our football club and us winning this league, one of them or both have got to step up. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
simple
as that. Facts. Look, you're right. Odegaard hasn't been missed so far in terms of performances and results. I think there's definitely been times where you think, oh, I love Odegaard in that position to thread that pass through. He would have seen that pass. But in terms of the results, we haven't missed him. Saka, I think it's a different story, if I'm honest. I think, but together, missing Saka and Odegaard against Liverpool, that is going to hurt. So I pray that Saka's going to be back for that one. Let's move on to Odegaard because he rolled his ankle against Norway. Funny enough, another international break. Look, any that could happen at any point, right? It could. So that is just unlucky. He's obviously done a lot of damage. Let me tell you what I think's happened here. When Mikel Arteta was spoken and asked about Martin Odegaard's injury, he was very coy, very quiet on it. Straight away, I was like, he's out for a long time. He's out for a long time. Then we saw the photo, didn't we, where his boot was being covered by the football in the team photo, and we all questioned it and thought, what's going on there? He let slip in an interview not long ago that he's still wearing a boot. Then there was a picture only a couple of days ago of Odegaard running on a treadmill, which was an anti-gravity treadmill, by the way, which people will realise is not actually running, but it makes you feel like you're running. But Odegaard, for me, has always been out till around about Christmas. I just don't think that he wanted to accept that. And I think it's clever from Arteta to do that. I don't think it's fair on the fans, but I think it's fair and it's clever for everything around it. Because imagine if that Norway injury happens and Arteta comes out the next day and says, I'm afraid Martin won't be with us until the new year. Everyone's deflated. Oh, my God, what's happening here? By saying we're not quite sure, we think it's going to be a few weeks. We're going to assess him, hopefully, the next international break. Now it's got to that international break. He knows I'm going to have to put out an announcement here to say you've had another setback. I'm not going to tell him actually we've got it wrong and he's out for longer. I'm going to say, yeah, you've got a setback. Let's tell people you've got a setback. And I don't think we're going to be seeing Martin Odegaard until around about Christmas, January. I really don't. I put Marino around about November. He's come back earlier because obviously the fracture wasn't so bad. It was obviously a hairline fracture. But Odegaard, I thought, yeah, we're going to miss him for the majority of the first part of the season. So that's where I'm at, Lee. Do you think he's had a setback, or do you think it's what I'm thinking?
No, I'm with you on that. I don't think it is. I still say he's at least 5 weeks away now. That'll be after the international break, November time. I reckon maybe by November the 17th, 24th, he'll come back. or in December, like, it'd be beginning of December, which is like 5-6 weeks away. So, listen, I know someone that knows him. That does some work for him, like, you know what I mean. Just put it like that, and he just said that the boot come off on Monday. So, you know, when I mean that, so he's now actually walking without a boot. You can't expect to be running and playing within 2 weeks, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, it's 5 weeks from there. Still going to have treatment. Still got to build it up and all that. Like, you know, so that's 5 weeks. Still 5 weeks away. Like, you know what I mean? So he's now walking around boot free. Like, you know. So for me, I don't think there's any setback or anything like that. I just think that this is the way it is. This, you know, when you look back at that injury, you knew that, you know, when your ankle goes completely round like that, you know, it takes a long while with the ligaments, and it's going to take a while. I remember doing I've done my ankle ligaments. So I'm never going back. I was bloody flying at the time. I was playing really well. About 2 weeks into September, it was scored an hat-trick in, you know, one game. I was like playing really well. Got about 5 goals from midfield. I was up and down. Picked up an ankle injury in the first couple of minutes. Went to the physio. When we was playing, we'd have a normal physio at the club, but they'd take you to a specialist physio. Like, you could go there once a week, so they'd send you there once a week. Physio said, "Oh, it ain't going to be too long. I reckon I can get you back in 2 or 3 weeks." 2 or 3 weeks come, still no improvement. I got back playing on New Year's Day. Right,
wow.
So that's September, October, November, December. Now, obviously, like, there's a lot. They had more training and everything like that back in there, like, you know. And I'll tell you this now, it was like going there 1 week to the next game. It's still no better. And then I was actually training on it, running on it when it was still painful. You know what I mean? It was never. It just was like longer than whatever anybody, you know. And there weren't no scans in those days. Listen, I'm going back in there. I weren't having it scanned or anything like that. But listen, the physios know what they're talking about. They're pretty good, like, you know. They roughly know what it is. But yeah, it was frustrating. And so when they say, like, you're coming out of a boot and everything like that, I know he's got at least another 5-6 weeks before it comes back, like, you know. And it's an injury that it can heal quicker on one person, and it could be quicker on you, Dan, than another. And then the other thing is, you could be running a. Do you know what? I'll tell you what sod's law, right? I'll tell you what sod's law, and this could happen. I played on Sunday, got kicked on the right bad on the foot, right? Bruised me foot badly, like, you know. Goes and plays 6-a-side on the Wednesday. Guess what happens? Someone treads on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't tread on the other that fucking injury they tread on, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't, and that can happen for him, like, you know what I mean? Like, he'd be playing, and if they're going to kick one ankle, what's it going to be? And it's always the one that's weak, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of strengthening up to do and everything like that. I've actually, you might think I'm a sad bastard here, like, but I've actually earmarked in my phone when I think that he'll be back. All right. And it's the 17th of November I put down after his injury. That's what I put down. That's the earliest I think that he could be back. Now, I don't know who that's against. I'll have a look while we're talking. But, like, that was the day that
that was the day he got injured. You put that in.
The day that he got injured, right? I said he won't be back until the 17th of November, which is, by the way, international break weekend. So he wouldn't be back. So the next game that he'd be back
after his Forest. So after the international, after the next international, had him.
So I didn't even know that there weren't a game that day. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So that'd be international break weekend in November. So I've put that in my phone that was the day that I think he'd be coming back. Like, you know, that is. So
this is the thing, bruv. We've got another fucking one of these fucking international breaks in
November.
It's a joke, mate. Well, and what we've got, right? So this is how it's worked. We've had injury to Odegaard, and then we've had to go in the internationals. Then we've had to go and play Man City, Villa, Spurs, Atlanta away, and then the home games as well, and the Champions League games, international break. Now we're coming up against Liverpool, and then the other 3 away games, which are Chelsea, Inter Milan, Newcastle away, another international break. This is a madness. We won't even be in December by then.
Yeah, I know. We've had 3 international breaks and probably, you know what I mean, like lose another one after that, like, you know. And that's how it is, you know. And it's disappointing. But listen, it's for everybody. If you're the good, the best. Do you know what? I'll put this out there and see how you feel about it. Like, you know, would you rather have England playing with no Arsenal players, right, and 5 Tottenham players like we did in the World Cup, or would you like some like England players in it, Arsenal players in the England team? I'm being really, really honest about it. I'd rather have a couple of England players in it, so it makes me feel passionate towards that England side. When there's no Arsenal players in it, I don't give a.
No, I want Arsenal players in it, but I want Arsenal players in it, like Saka and Rice, but I want them managed well. That's what I want. So when we're going to tournaments, play Saka and Rice all you want, because it's a tournament. They're the best 2 players, or 2 of the best players in the England squad. But don't play them against San Marino for 90 and Liechtenstein for 90, and then go up against Moldova and play them for 90, and then get Malta in a friendly and play them for 90, and then get Scotland in a friendly and play them for 90. Let's start sharing it around, because you know Saka is the best right winger for England. You know the best holding midfielder England have got is Rice. Why are you playing them every single game in when you're supposed to be experimenting? Give Adam Wharton a go. Let him play in defensive midfield. Give Kobe Minu or Angel Gomez a go there. Give Eze or Bowen a go on the right-hand side. Why are we still playing Saka and Rice every single game? Because I don't see this, by the way, happening with any other player in the England setup, other than maybe Kane, unless he's injured. I don't see any other player getting the treatment Saka and Rice is. Why do them 2 play every game? And we've got some of the others. I mean, like this week it was Rico Lewis, then it was Trippier, it's Walker, it's Trent. In goal is always Pickford. Other than that, you've got Pickford, Kane, Saka, Rice. At the back line, it's always someone different next to Stones. It's always someone different next to Rice. It's always, you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what's a great point. I reckon, right, we can't go, but since Rice signed for Arsenal, right, I bet outfield wise, he's the player with the most minutes, right? I would probably say Pickford would probably out of the whole team, but he's a goalkeeper. But outfield player, I bet Rice has played more than any other player, minutes wise.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me research that while you think. It might not be about, but I'm going to try and research that.
I reckon I reckon it's by a country mile as well. I reckon it is. Since he signed for Arsenal, he has played the most minutes. And I bet you'd be surprised how many more minutes than anybody else. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you something else. I bet Saka is in the top 5. Like, you know, listen, we played 2 friendlies last season, right? March time, yeah? Because they were friendlies. We were going for the league. Saka played in 1.5.
I've got it here. I've got it here in front of me.
Go on, him.
No, go on. Sorry, go on. I've got it in front of me, but go on. No, go on. Finish what you're saying.
Saka played 1.5 games. Rice played in both friendlies for 90 minutes and was captain in both.
Crazy. It's crazy. So you're right. Jordan Pickford is up there because he's the goalkeeper, which you kind of expect, Lee, to be fair.
Yeah.
You've not got to change your goalkeeper and sub them off, right? Declan Rice is next. John Stones and Kyle Walker. And then it goes Bellingham, Kane and Saka.
There you go.
So Saka and Rice have played 2 of the most minutes, along with the goalkeeper, the striker, Harry Kane, and obviously Bellingham at the moment because, you know, he's been flying. Stones, who I did mention, it's always someone different next to Stones, but it normally is Stones.
Where was Gay? Was he injured or something then?
No, he's on the bench. He's on the bench. So there you go. So you're right. Declan Rice has played the most minutes alongside Harry Kane and Jordan Pickford since he signed for Arsenal. Crazy.
There you go. Says it all.
That's look, it's a compliment because obviously they're 2 of the better players, Rice and Saka, and this is what we want, Lee. Right? We want that. We want to be having the best players, but it's going to be a massive thing for us. Before we come to the last question I've got for you, football prizes, mate, is back.
Yes,
This
back.
one is an absolute banger as well, mate. Here it is.
Yeah, they're back, and I'll tell you why they're back. I always do that wrong, go the wrong way. Like I have to remember that. Like they're back, and the reason that we've come in quicker than this one, Dan, is because the last one sold out so quickly. So
Wow.
they've had to put another one in straight away, like, you know. So we're doing our job, no two ways about that. But they've come up with this banger now. Mikel Arteta signed 2024-25, so it's this season's shirt, pro home shirt, signed by Mikel, plus 16 prizes, which include a Raya Martinelli and Gabriel shirt. So not only can you get Mikel's shirt, I don't know how really that works, like Mikel with number one, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, is he a goalkeeper, or was they just saying because he's the number one? I don't know how that works, if I'll be honest. But look, you know, Mikel, it would be an, you know, like, and this season's shirt as well, which is unbelievable. But there, they've done it again. Football prizes. I don't know how they do it, but they do it then, and they've smashed
They
it
keep
out.
delivering, mate.
They keep
Do you know
delivering.
what? Out of all them, do you know what the one I'd want out of all them for? If it was me, I'd want Gabriel's. Look at that.
Yeah,
That looks
mum.
quality. With the frame and the two pictures underneath like that and signed, that looks the bollocks, doesn't it? So that's the one I want. But Mikel's is there as well as Martinelli's and Rayas. Martinelli's one of my favourites as well, to be fair. But that Gabriel one, that looks class. Make sure you do me a favour. Make sure you go over to footballprizes.co.uk and take a look at what they've got on prize. They have got, I know we're not all gooners here, and then we do have and we really appreciate it. A lot of you that don't support Arsenal, but they do have other prizes over there as well, not just Arsenal ones. So I wanted to make that clear. Big up to every single one of you that's here. Make sure you're hitting the like button because you've not even got to 100 likes yet, and there's over 400 people in here. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, people. We're very close, actually, to 40K. So let us know. Whoever is the 40,000th subscriber, put your hand up and let us know. If you all hit the like and subscribe now, we'll get very, very close to it. So, yeah, make sure you do that, please, people. Last question for you, Lee. I've got Saliba. He is being linked with a move to Real Madrid. Real Madrid have suggested that they are making him the number one target for them in the summer. Saliba to Real Madrid, it is a different knock. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I'm going to give you a scenario. Arsenal finished trophyless this season. They ask Saliba to sign a new deal because he's only got 2 years left. He says no. What do we do? Do we sell him?
No. Convince him. Convince him. Listen, he's an Arsenal fan. Why would you want to go anywhere at the moment? Like, you know what I mean? And I do think Arsenal will win something in the next couple of years, and this season I think we've got a very, very good chance. And I wouldn't sell him at this moment in time. Maybe a year left, definitely. Like you'd have to sell, like, you know. But at this moment in time, look, I'm interested in taking Halle Belly out. You know what I mean? But it ain't going to happen. She's my number one choice. Ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you know. And if I'll be honest, I probably couldn't afford her. You know what I mean? So it don't matter how much I knock. You know what I mean? She ain't going to answer. And that's the same for Saliba at this moment in time. But listen, if Arsenal don't keep progressing, don't keep going, that's always a chance that it could happen, like, you know. So let's see what happens. But for me, at this moment in time, no, I think he's happy where he is. Listen, he's a big Arsenal fan. Don't forget that, like, you know, he very much is. So follows all the things. Very, very knowledgeable about the banana shirt. I don't know if you've seen that thing.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, that's going back a while. That is, like, you know, but he knows his stuff and all that, like, you know. But you know, it's gonna, even if Arsenal don't win nothing this season, he says no, it's going to take money that they can't afford. No, you know what I mean? It's going to be massive amounts of money. You know, I don't know how much he's worth really, like in the current market and all that. It's got to be 150. At
Well,
least.
if you go on transfer market, it's 80 million, which is obviously a load of nonsense transfer market. But if you were to sign him and Real Madrid were to come in the summer, we're getting 150 for him, 100%. Now, I don't think we should sell him at all costs. However, if he says to me, look, I'm not going to sign a new deal, I do want
200.
Real Madrid. Yeah. If I'm not going to sign a new deal with Arsenal because I don't think we're going to win trophies. We haven't done it in 3 years, blah, blah, blah. I want to go Real Madrid. What do we do? Do we do Trent Alexander-Arnold and let him go on a free? Not for me. Do we keep him another year and let him have 1 year down and he goes for about 90 million instead of the 150? Not for me. I think we have to be realistic about it and say, right, thank you, William. I know you want to go. We'll let you. We get Real Madrid. We want 200 million and we agree on something mad like 175, 150 or something, and then we put that in the squad. I think we might have to do that. Now, I hate thinking like that, but you've got to be realistic about the opportunity. That prepare yourself for it, because I think he's going to stay. I do. I think he might sign another deal with us for a couple of years. I tell you this now, I would put my house on him going to Real Madrid in his late 20s.
Yeah, he well could do, but like, you know,
I hope he goes in his late 20s, not his early 20s. That's what I'm saying.
But you know, like Harry Kane stayed at Spurs till he was 30.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like if Spurs can keep Harry Kane, the best striker in Europe, for all that time without a trophy, well, why not with Saliba? Like, you know, you just got to be, you know, paying what he deserves, and go from there. Listen, at the end of the day, if he was to go and you got 150 million for him, you know, as long as you reinvest that, it ain't that you know, that would be great if it gets you to whatever. Like, but listen, we've got the best central defender in Europe. Why would you want to get rid of him at this moment in time? And I believe it's sincerely at this moment. Why would you want to leave Arsenal at this moment in time? All the players are in and around you the same age. You're in one of the best teams in Europe. They've got to prove that, and I think that they will over this course this year. If we're lucky with injuries, you know, we ain't being lucky at this moment in time. But if we are, you know, we've got a great chance. Great chance.
I agree. I want to keep him at all costs as well. Let's see. At the moment, international break. England on Sunday, Lee. I bet you can't wait for it, can you?
Can't wait, right? You know what I mean? I'll be colouring me hair. There you go.
Big up, man. Listen, always a pleasure. Make sure you do me a favour, people. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and make sure you are doing the same for myself over at Football's 12th Man. Lee, I'll let you have the last word as we see ourselves.
Just don't forget, we're doing this favourite 11. It's not the favourite 11 now. It's your favourite 11 of all time. So when you was a kid, who was your favourite player, to any of your players now, you might want to put a player in there because you've met them. I've just put another one into my midfield with Edu. Just come to my mind, you know what I mean? So it was a big favourite of mine back in the day, not just because I met him. So he might have to go into my team. Doesn't mean to say that he was better than Vieira, Petit or whatever. It's your favourite 11. So we're going to do that next week. Liam Brady, Michael could be in there. As right, Tommy, I think right, he will get a few of your votes as well and everything like that. So we want to get you involved as well. So we want on the show. We'll probably do it on a Tuesday. So we're looking to do it. So you've got a few days to think about over the weekend. And then we'll compare who's going to be with the best team. But listen, I'm going to leave you this today. Forget international football. Forget football. Have a bloody good weekend. Have a few beers without worrying whether the Arsenal are going to get 3 points or not. Enjoy.